can. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Everyone? Yes, we can. So Ezra, I'll let you introduce yourself. Maybe you can give us a little bit of background as well, your role with NABCEP and NABCEP itself, and I'll turn the mic over to you.
Okay. Thank you very much, and hello everyone. I very much appreciate the opportunity to talk to you, and what a beautiful segue to talk about training and qualifications. Clearly we needed somebody that was trained and qualified in operating the telecom system to get going on time. I am Ezra Auerbach. I'm a Canadian resident, live on one of the British Columbia Gulf Islands, and I'm privileged to have spent the last 26 years in the solar industry, the last 3 of which I've been the executive director of the North American Board of Certified Energy Practitioners. It's called the North American Board because we've always hoped to see our certification accepted and used in Canada as well as the United States. And I'm pleased that in the upcoming certified solar exams next week, on March 23rd, there'll be 16 Canadians from Ontario and Alberta testing, and hopefully many of them will succeed and join the ranks of Canadians that hold NABCEP certification. NABCEP offers a number of practitioner certification programs. The one I think that is most relevant for the topic at hand today is our PV installer certification and perhaps our PV technical sales certification. The PV installer certification is aimed at individuals who hold the responsible role on a PV installation. And those individuals, depending on the jurisdiction or the type of job, may be electricians, they may be roofers, they may be glazers, they may be general contractors, they may be others fulfilling the role. The key point is that a solar installation is a multi-craft job. The skills and knowledge required to do a PV installation include electricity, roofing, sheet metal work, sometimes glazing, always an understanding of building science, always the ability to do complex math to evaluate row spacing, the ability to evaluate string sizing. Those are all part of the role of a certified PV installer in the lead position of the job. And how that role is defined is easily found through a certification program's job task analysis. Like other programs, NABCEP's job task analysis is widely available and published on our website, www.nabcep.org. The key thing that NABCEP wants to say as we talk to this audience is that we're not a trade qualification. Holding NABCEP certified status does not mean, in our view or in any other jurisdiction's view, that this is equal to a trade qualification. And hundreds, if not thousands, of tradespeople that have NABCEP certification are proud to hold NABCEP certification as an endorsement to their trade. I understand that there's been much discussion and conversation today about whether the job of the solar installer properly belongs to electricians. And that's a discussion that has been long held in the United States, where NABCEP's been established for more than a decade. And it's a discussion that appears to be ultimately unresolvable. There are many different trades that feel solar belongs to them. And there's a dynamic tension between them. Whose job is it? If there's little electrical work because everything is pre-wired on the back of a module and it's a matter of putting agency-recognized connectors together, then the bulk of the work is probably warranty of the building envelope if you put something on the roof that's not engineered for it. And only roofers can put structures on a roof and maintain the warranty. If it's building integrated, the glaciers lay a fair claim for it. So knowing that, it's not a simple matter of saying, oh, well, we can assign this job to a single trade, that trade can take it away. We have a certification that respects all the different trades that work in a PV installation and says, let's make sure that the lead person, the person in charge of the job, has demonstrated through training, on-the-job experience, and passing a difficult exam that they can cover all of those bases in a responsible and knowledgeable way. Well, having said that, the next question is, well, why NABCEP? That's an American certification. And it's absolutely true that the building code and safety standards that are referenced in our electrical code and safety standards that are referenced in our job task analysis and in our examinations are the U.S. National Electric Code and the U.S. OSHA standards. And that raises a question of why would we want that certification in Canada? Why wouldn't Canada want to simply say, you guys have a good idea, let's take your idea and do our own credential? The answer is that it takes an enormous amount of work and investment of volunteer and paid time to develop a certification and to earn national and international respect for it. We've managed to do that at NABCEP. We've had an enormous amount of help from states like New York and the federal government and the PV industry in North America to achieve the stature we've achieved as a credential. And we would very much like to see our credential more used and more accepted in Canada. We understand that we ask people in Canada today to take an exam based on a U.S. electrical code. That's caused us some consternation. And we've asked the Canadian certificates who've had to learn essentially a foreign code what they think about it. Has it been valuable for them? Has it annoyed them? We pretty consistently heard back from the certificates that it was a valuable process to them to learn the U.S. National Electrical Code because it covers in detail, it covers greater detail of PV installation than the Canadian Electric Code, and it's been a good professional development tool for them. We've also heard loud and clear from them. It doesn't exempt them from needing to know the Canadian codes and standards. We've looked into offering our credential in Canada and approached it from a number of different avenues. One way we looked at it was, what if we did a special examination for Canada? And we saw this as practical and doable, but the most expensive alternative we could find. In order to maintain psychometric validity, a special examination for Canada would have to have a passing score study, which is an expensive exercise each time it was administered, and would have some loss of validity for the smaller candidate pool that Canada represents versus the United States. We also looked into what if we just continued to offer our existing examination in Canada and then work with Canadian subject matter experts to offer a Canadian endorsement, one that essentially was that it would be useful for American certificates wishing to work in Canada, and there are some certainly from some of the mid-U.S. states who do try to work and sometimes do work in Ontario. And we feel that it would offer appropriate portability to Canadians to work in the States or be recognized in the States. And that we feel is the most appropriate step that could be taken. In order to take that step, we need to find acceptance in Canada to do that. And part of that acceptance is funding partners to help pay for the cost of developing and maintaining a Canadian-specific endorsement exam, as it were. With that, I think I've used up the time I was granted. And once again, very much thank you for your time and welcome your inquiries after the other speakers. Jacob, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Ezra.